Hello and welcome to North Country Matters. My name is Donna Seymour. I'm a member of the St. Lawrence County League of Women Voters, one of the civic partners for our show. Today, my guest is Tammy LaPoint. She is the Assistant Director of Head Start, a federal program that's administered under the auspices of the St. Lawrence County Community Development Program. Tammy, welcome to North Country Matters. Head Start has been in the news somewhat lately, and this is a great time to talk about the Head Start program, who it serves, and who benefits from it.
Well, good morning, Donna. Thank you. Um, as you said, my name is Tammy LaPoint. I am a mother of two. I am from the North Country. I was born and raised in Messina, New York. I still live in Messina um, with my husband. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I started with Head Start as a parent in 1996. Um, and then I became a teacher's assistant in 2002. Um, I moved on to work in the kitchen because I found that way I could venture out to all the classrooms in our Messina Center. So I was able to see all the children all day long. And I love to cook. From there, I became the nutrition coordinator. So I moved to the main office in Canton, became the nutrition coordinator for St. Lawrence County Head Start. Um, and then from there, I became the assistant director in 2023.
So your arc through Head Start has really been, you've kind of filled almost every type of role that could be filled, except maybe for bus driver.
Yes, I will not be a bus driver. um yeah, that takes a lot of responsibility,
Yeah.
especially on some of these winter roads. I yeah, that's just not
Yeah, for
something I
sure.
could
This
do.
last week, if Head Start and school had been in session, it would have been an adventure, to say the least, to be on
Oh
the roads.
yes, definitely. Yes.
So, so the Head Start program is a federally funded school readiness preschool program for children ages 3 to 5. Head Start was established in St. Lawrence County in 1965 and continues to serve families today. Head Start is actually part of President Johnson's War on Poverty, which he spearheaded in the mid 1960s, along
hmm
with programs like Medicare to erase senior poverty, and Medicaid to provide access to health care for low income folks. Head Start was conceived as a way to break the generational cycle of poverty by providing access to critical early childhood education and support to families in need. And let's also, Tammy, just take a second to talk about the St. Lawrence County Community Development Program, which is a not-for-profit community action agency that runs Head Start. Tell us about how many centers you actually are overseeing here in St. Lawrence County.
In St. Lawrence County, we have 8 centers. They are located in Brazier, Canton, Gouverneur, Messina, Norwood, Ogdensburg, Parishville, and Potsdam. We also have what is called our home base program, where we have home base visitors around the county. We now have 6 home base visitors around the county that go to the homes, and they not only work with the children, they work with the families as a whole. They educate the families how to use things in their home to promote education with their children rather than having to go out and buy these expensive toys and things like that. Just finding things in your own home that you can use as a learning tool to assist your child's education.
So that really
Um,
promotes creativity on the part of parents, doesn't it? And it gives them the tools
it
they
does.
need to make sure that they're giving their own children those critical early learning skills and opportunities that every child needs.
Exactly. When we get to the center, we kind of carry that over, showing the children that all you need is like construction paper, glue, scissors, markers, crayons, and you can create anything.
Yeah,
A little paint.
even though parents' most horrible tool, glitter.
Yes, glitter takes a long time for it to disappear. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, never one of my favorites when my kids were that age was when they wanted to get the glitter out because I knew I was going to be looking at it for months. So,
Oh,
how do families actually access your Head Start program, and is there a cost to them to participate, Tammy?
there is no cost to Head Start at all. All our meals are free. The only thing that we require is that a child comes with a book bag, the clothes on their back and the book bag. We provide everything else. We purchase all the markers, the crayons, pencils, paper, anything you need. We provide it right at our centers. Our home-based visitors, they bring those items into the home. They have some pretty big bags that they carry with all the essentials they will need to go into the home as well. They're like a mini classroom on wheels. um, yeah, it is no cost to anybody, and it's easy to apply. The only requirement to apply for Head Start is that they're 3 or 4 by December 1st of that year. Um, and all they have to do is contact our office, and our number is 315-386-8574. And there's always somebody willing to take your information. What we need is your name, your child's name, their date of birth, your address, and a phone number. And then we send that information out to whoever is in that area, and they will call you up and set up an application to complete. They'll come to your home and complete the application with you. Um, if you're a working parent, maybe it's easier to meet you at work. They do that as well. They're they're more than willing to go out and meet you anywhere. I have even gone out and done applications out, especially in the summer when staff are off. I go out and I have done applications out and
So,
about.
so that's really a very family-friendly process, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't be more accommodating for for families with kids in the 3 to 4 year old range, could you?
No, in fact, that's part of Head Start is that we are not just there for the children, we're there for the whole family. Um, we have family advocates that are the liaison between the family and the center. But if a family is more comfortable talking to the teacher or the bus driver, we encourage that. We have an open door policy. Families are welcome to come into our centers anytime they want to. Um, we welcome them. And part of Head Start is part of the regulations is that we have families or we have volunteers that come in, and parents count as volunteers, and we welcome them to come in. They can volunteer in the kitchen. If they want to learn to cook a specific dish or something, we welcome them in to learn how to cook that. We will show them how we make those things, because all our food is made from scratch. If they want to come in to learn how to do a specific craft project or even just to spend time reading to the children in the classroom, we welcome them in. They're welcome all the time. They can stay all day. They can come in just for meals. They can come in for whenever they want to.
So it's not just an early education program for kids, but it's also kind of a helpful training program for parents, new parents, isn't it?
It is because some of the things that they're learning, they could actually put on a resume. Like if they're learning how to cook specific things, that's something that they could put on a resume as well. That they volunteered. They volunteered to read stories. They volunteered to help create crafts in the classroom. That kind of thing. Yeah.
So Tammy, for talk to us a little bit about how large your staff is, because with centers, that many centers, and with your home-based program, you're overseeing quite a lot of people, aren't you?
We are. We have 80 right now. Currently, we have 82 staff members, and we have a few openings. We are looking for a health professional in our Norwood Brazier area. We kind of divide that in half. We are looking for a teacher assistant in Governor. We are also looking for our secretary here at the main office due to a retirement. We are looking for a health and disabilities coordinator. And we just currently hired 3 new staff members. So, but As of right now, we have 82 staff on board.
That's a very large program. It's much larger than I guess I would have thought it
It
would have
is.
been. Talk a little bit about what the kind of training your staff has in order to do the jobs in there. Your teachers, are they accredited teachers?
Our teachers, according to Head Start, our teachers have to have a minimum of associate's degree.
Okay.
Um, so we do have assistant teachers, which we require a minimum of a CDA, but they can also have an associate's degree. And some of them with an associate's degree, they can move up to the teacher role if there's a teacher there that is retiring or leaves or whatnot, or an opening comes up in another center, they could always transfer to that center. But to be a teacher, you have to have a minimum of associate's degree. We have several with a bachelor's degree. Because we also have to follow OCFS regulations. So those are the daycare regulations, and they require each of our centers to have a center director, and that you have to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree for that position. And that is usually one of our teachers. Our health and disabilities coordinator position is required to have a bachelor's degree in health or community health. Our Head Start director has to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. The home-based visitors, we're looking for individuals with an associate's degree. Those are the type of degrees, yeah. Our health professionals, we do have a few that are CNAs. We have an LPN, we have a GPN. Our have family advocates, we enroll them in, if they do not come to us with a degree in human services or social work, we enroll them in an FDC class. So that meets the requirement for their position. And of course, the bus drivers, they have to have the 19 or the CDL with a PNS endorsement.
You know,
Yes.
it's a very comprehensive staff that you have, and people can feel really confident about the training. That everybody who's interacting with these children is really well educated and able to do a perfect job, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And we have ongoing training. So throughout the school year, just like the regular school, we also have our staff development days. And on those days, we have specific training requirements that we have to meet that everybody has to have every year. So even though they're educated, they have their degrees, we continue their training as the year goes on every year.
That's wonderful. But the education component is just one part of the Head Start program. What else does the program do for families?
Um, we promote a lot of different resources. It depends on the needs of the family. It depends on what the family is looking to get out of the program. Sometimes they might find something in during the program year. They might find something that sparks their interest. Because every month there are parent meetings. All the parents are invited to these parent meetings where they can share ideas. They can bring up ideas that they would like to see, like say field trips. Say they want to see their child go to a specific field trip. If it's age appropriate, we try to set those field trips up for them, because it's what the parents want their children to learn. It's all about, because the parents are the main educator of their children. They know their child. And so we encourage that, and we want them to get out of the program what they want to get out of the program, as long as it's age appropriate. We want ideas from the parents as to what they would like to see on a menu. Now, we still have guidelines that we have to follow. So we can't serve hot dogs and bologna and that kind of thing. But there are some times that their suggestions, like they'd like to see goulash on the menu. They want to see meatloaf on the menu, and those are accommodated. and the cooks create the menu so they can put that on the menu. The only menus we cannot do anything with are the ones, because we have 3 centers that are located in schools.
Mhm.
We have a great partnership with those schools. Um, but we cannot adjust their menus per se. We have to go with what they have. But the other 5 centers are freestanding, and they have their own cooks to make meals, and they can take the suggestions of parents. Same with the educational piece. Um, they meet with families individually to work on goals for their child. So the parents can create a goal for their child, whether it's just learning to write their name, or if they would like them to, maybe it's a toilet training. Um, it could be a number of different things. But we encourage the families to participate in activities that we have. We have family fun nights at the centers. Um, I know in Norwood recently in January, they just did a winter ball. They went to the municipal building and they had a winter ball for the children and the families. They said it was very well attended. I did see some pictures and they were dressed up. It looked so cute. It was amazing. Yeah.
That is terrific. It is such a comprehensive program. So, Tammy, if a child is enrolled at a Head Start center, how does the transportation aspect work? Because we know in a county like St. Lawrence, transportation can be a real barrier for some families.
Yes. So we have our own individual buses, with the exception of Parishville. Um, Parishville works very well with us. They provide the buses, we provide the bus monitors, and they will go out and pick up our children with the UBK children, so they're all brought in together, and they will bring them home. Um, but as for the other centers, we have our own buses that will go out and pick up the children directly at their door. We pick them up at their door, we drop them off at their door. So they do not have to go conjugate at a bus stop. It's right at their door. And we give them a window. We tell them like we'll give them a time frame when the bus can be there, but there's always situations where maybe they got stopped by a train or road conditions like recently. Because the weather plays a part. Child sickness, maybe the bus will be there early. So we always give them a window, 15 minutes before that time and 15 minutes after, just to watch out for the bus. Because if you have a lot of kids out sick, you know that bus is going to arrive a lot sooner to your home. But back to the distance, like in Governor, we were lucky enough to find a second bus driver, because Governor is a very big district. And so we have a second bus driver, so they are able to split that bus run in half instead of having one driver having to go out and try to do 2 runs. We have a second bus driver so that all the children can arrive together. Just like in Messina, we have 2 bus drivers. Messina is our biggest center. They have 3 classrooms. So they really need 2 buses. Um, and the size of the district. I mean, face it, most of our districts in St. Lawrence County are huge.
So that brings up another point I'd like you to give us some information on. Head Start is a half-day program, is that correct? Or a
We
full-day
have
program?
full days, we have full day slots and we have half day
Okay.
slots. Um, we have what is called performance standards. Those are the regulations sent down by Congress guidelines that we have to follow. And in 2016, they issued new performance standards, and in those, it was by, oh, I don't remember the exact date, but they wanted us to be at 100% full day. And then they scrolled it back because they found out not all families wanted full day programming. They thought it was too much for their children. So 45% of our centers are full day slots. And we still have part day slots. Our part day slots are anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours. Our full day slots are 6.5 hours. So if your child's in a full day slot, they are there for 6.5 hours and they receive 3 meals. They'll receive breakfast, lunch, and a snack. Our part day slots are there for 4.5 hours, and they receive 2 meals, which are usually breakfast and lunch.
Okay, that's
Um,
great. That brings up kind of another sort of question, which is you actually have to work pretty closely with the daycare centers and daycare opportunities for families in the county, and we know that that's always an issue. There's never seemed to be enough daycare slots or childcare slots for the families who need them because they're just the way it is, especially in a big county with a lot of rural school districts. So how does your program interact and sort of cover some of those childcare needs that families have?
there are like in our Canton Center, we work very well with Canton Central School. Um, we work with Kelly Glasgow. We have some children that attend UPK, but they also attend Head Start. So that way, if they're in UPK in the morning, their bus brings their students to us for the afternoon session. And we have a bus that transfers our morning, or they pick up our morning Head Start children and bring them back to UPK for the afternoon session. Um, in other areas, we in the past we've had Norwood Norfolk School. They pull up with their bus, and they pick up any children that will go to UPK in the afternoon. Or we have had some children that have attended UPK, I believe in Potsdam in the morning, and they have come to us in the afternoon. Um, and as far as childcare goes, if the families have a specific, like maybe it's a grandma or an aunt or uncle that watches the children when Head Start is done for the end of the day until they're done work, we will transport them to that location. Um, as long as it's a routine schedule. Um, because we're all about the safety of the children. We can't bounce around and go like, okay, one day here, one day here, one day here. We have to have a set schedule. That way there's less confusion because it's all about the safety of the children, making
Mhm.
sure that they get to where they need to be in a safe manner. Um,
This really is it is you do such a great job of accommodating to what families need and want. That that is just that's so comforting to hear because when you have very young children, that's what you want.
it is, yep. And that's what we're here for. We're here to accommodate the whole family as much as possible. Um, we want the families to feel comfortable with us. We want them to feel safe with us. Um, we want the children to feel safe with us. Yeah,
And it sounds like you integrate very well with all of the school districts in the county as well, because clearly your centers overlap school district boundaries because there are 17 school districts and you don't have 17 centers. So,
yeah. And sometimes like we'll have in like Ogdensburg, we'll have some families that might go to Hewelton or Lisbon, or some of our families in Canton will go to Lisbon. Um, Norwood, they go to Norwood, and the teachers meet with the school teachers at the end of the year to do like a transition, to give them a heads up. Okay, so this is what we're working on with this child. This is what we're, so they do transition meetings with the schools.
that is really good. In fact, that was going to be one of my questions for you was that part of the Head Start program is obviously designed to help prepare children for kindergarten and provide the support they need to have successful, relationships in the school. In your experience, and you've got had a lot of experience, is that goal being met by Head Start and your program?
Yes. Um, we just like in regular schools, we have the quarterly out, we call them outcomes, where at the schools it's the report cards. And those are shared with the parents, but that's also the time where the parents help create goals for their children. What do they want their children to learn? And then we have, this is what we observe for your child for this quarter. So this is what we have set for a goal. So you have goals coming from both from the parents and from the teachers aspect. So um, to prepare them best for the schools. And we reach out to the schools to find out what is it you want them to know before they come to you. What do you want them to know? And we build on that. But we can only we work with the children where they're at.
Mhm.
And we just encourage and keep building on where they're at to build them up to be successful in their educational years to head.
Well, we know from research and from experience that the 0 to 5 year period is the most important period for setting up a child for success in school. So it sounds like your Head Start program is a big part of that success and that opportunity for that child to have success.
And that's what we're here for. That's the point of Head Start, is to make sure that they're successful as their educational years go on.
So you've
And
talked a
but
little,
we're
excuse
also
me.
here to promote family advocacy. We want the families to be able to advocate for their child. Um, we want them to feel comfortable advocating. We've had parents come to us, past parents come to us, and they've had questions. And once we explain things to them, they get an understanding of how the process works. Um, so even assisting parents that have previously been in the program, they have reached out to us for assistance as well.
You've really built great relationships over the years, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
That's pretty obvious. So you talked a little bit before about how people can find out more about the program and enroll their child. And just want, if you want to repeat that process again, just so people will know what they can, how they can get a hold of you folks.
Oh, yes. So to get a hold of us to apply, to apply for your child, you can call our number, which is 315-386-8574. And anybody who answers will be more than willing to take any of the information. The basic information we need is your name, your child's date of birth, an address, and a phone number. And someone from that area will reach out to you. We also have, as you're out in the community, we have flyers posted. And on our flyers, there are QR codes. I know a representative from WIC has taken some of our little business cards. They have a QR code as well. I believe Cornell Cooperative Extension has taken some of those cards. And that brings you to a Google form. And that takes down the same information as if we were to answer our phone. That's not the actual application, that's just the information so that we will get that in a Google form. We will receive that information and we'll send that information out to the appropriate staff member in that area to be able to contact them and go out and do the application.
Wow, that's such a straightforward, simple process. So, yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
there's no barrier to getting your child enrolled, is there? That's great.
No, there really is not. We are income based, but that does not stop you from completing an application because we are also able to accept 10% of our enrollment as over income families. So even if you feel like you're over income, they can still apply because there's always that chance.
So, in terms of your overall number of kids in your program at any one time, what's kind of the average number of children that you are serving at any one time?
Our full enrollment right now is our fully funded enrollment right now is 278. We are 40 from full, but we're still taking applications. So um, once we hit that 40 mark, even if we hit that 40 mark and we get up to the full 278, we still continue to take applications and we'll have a wait list. That way, if any families move out of the area, we have an opening. So if you're on our wait list, we take the top one from our wait list and we slide them in.
That's great. And I
So
guess my last question would be, Tammy, um, do you Can a child start anywhere in the school year if they become eligible?
Yes, a child can start. We have children that are just starting right now.
Okay.
Um, if they're our main area that we're concentrating on right now is Governor. We have one whole classroom that is empty right now. Um, so if there's anybody who's 3 or 4 years old in the Governor area, we have a whole classroom that we need to fill. So yeah,
That's great. Tammy, I so appreciate you coming in and talking about this program. It is such a great program. And, I learned a lot today just listening to you talk about it. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't know as much about it as they want to, and this will really help them uh, to get educated themselves about your program. So thank you so much for coming in.
you are very welcome. Yes, I have actually met people when I've talked to them and they have never heard of Head Start. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Um, so
Well, we're doing our part to make sure that a few more people get to hear about it. So thank you again.
yes, thank
Uh,
you, Donna. I
uh,
appreciate it.
well, you're very welcome. So these conversations are a production of North Country Matters, which is a civic collaboration between the League of Women Voters of St. Lawrence County and the Potsdam Public Library. Remember, our North Country matters.